Python microservices for a couple of startups based out of US. Okay, so today we are going to see or explore the opportunities that lay around Python. Okay, or what kind of job opportunities we might get if you know Python. Okay, what kind of job roles that are available or that are there in the market, the Python job market, and those things, and what is Python and how it is different from other languages. Okay, what what do you have to know if you want to learn Python, or else how can you learn Python? So all these things we are going to cover in this session. So before getting into the session, okay, I just want to know. I hope I have taken a session before 1 month back, if I believe. Okay. Can anyone tell me, like, you guys were there in the session? How many guys were there in the session? Or are you guys first time hearing me giving the lecture or giving the class? You can just send a message saying kind of thing, or first time, okay? Paul said first time. Shilpa's first time.
Mine is first time too.
Oh, Ben's first time. Me as well. Okay, so most of the guys are the first timers here. Okay, thanks for that. Great. Okay, so let's jump into the session then. I'll start sharing my screen. I will just go through uh, what do you know about programming languages and how Python is actually different from others. Those kind of details. Let me start sharing 1 second. Let me know if my voice is inaudible, or if you find any disturbances in the background. Okay.
Yeah, Raju, if possible, little bit louder, if possible.
Oh
Please.
yeah, I'm really sorry because
Yeah.
1 second. I hope you guys can see my screen now.
Yes, Raju.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so getting into Python details. Okay, Python is just another programming language like others, like C or C++ or JavaScript or any other languages. Okay, but Python is mostly used in the in if you ask me where we can use Python nowadays, because of the large community support, the large framework availability in the Python. Okay, we can use Python in every domain. Let's say if you take machine learning and AI area, you can use, and Python would be the most preferred language. If you take blockchain, people are developing some applications using Python in the area of blockchain. Take IoT. Even in IoT, Internet of Things, also we can develop some server-side applications using Python, and web development also we can use Python. Okay, so before just getting more information in Python. Okay, first of all, we should understand what is actually a programming language. Okay.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Please give me permission to record.
Sure. I think it's.
I am already
Yeah,
recording. I am already recording.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I will share it. Okay.
Thank you.
So I just want to hear your opinion. can anyone just tell me like what is a programming language? What do you know about a programming language? I just want to make it as a interactive session rather than me speaking more about what do I know. I just want to share my opinions with you. That's it. So you can also share your opinions as well. Can anyone just tell me any just one, like what is a programming language or else a language? It doesn't matter if it is right or wrong.
It's kind of a set of rules that we pass to computer to interact
Okay. Okay.
and produce an output.
Yep. Okay, great. That's really great. Okay. Programming is kind of a set of rules, or you can say set of instructions that you want to be executed or else that you want to be performed to get some output or else to get some result. Let's say if I ask you as a human being, okay, I'll say, Ravi, please switch on that light. Ravi, please switch on that light. Okay, that is an instruction, and that's been given in a language called English, right? I can give that instruction which Ravi and me can understand each other. Okay, in the same language that me and Ravi can understand, right? I can give that same instruction in another language, or in Telugu or in Hindi or any other language where the two persons can understand each other. Okay, so that's basically a language, the mode of some kind of communication. Okay, and in the same way, how can we communicate with a computer, with the system? Okay, this is and this is where we can call, or else we can say, the programming language is one of the things that we can use to we can ask a computer to perform some set of instructions in order to give some output. Okay, so programming language is nothing but giving some instructions to perform some set of instructions, like we have as a human being. We have different languages like English, Telugu, or other languages. Even in computers, or even in the programming world, we do have different languages. Let's say we do have Python, we do have C, we have JavaScript, we have Swift, or something like that. Each language has its own usage, or has its own area of expertise. Okay, um, Python is mostly used in the backend services, or else in the backend development part. Okay, where backend development we can use Python. Okay, let's say I have given the instruction again, Ravi, please switch on the light, right? That's my instruction, clear instruction. Then let's say you have only one light in the room. Immediately Ravi will say, okay, he will switch on the light. Let's say you have two different lights or three different lights, three lights. Okay, so how my system will understand that particular instruction? Ravi, switch on the light. How it would understand? Let's say if you give this instruction to a computer, how would it understand? Switch on a light. It's very vague, right? There are three lights, but we are saying switch on a light. That's it. Okay. So then if you decode this line, or else if you stretch this line a bit, okay, we can understand each and every element of our programming language. Let's say here if I say I can introduce a concept called variables in this particular question. I can say, Ravi, switch on light 1, Ravi, switch on light 2, Ravi, switch on light 3, something like that. Okay, again my next question. Okay, let's say I have said, Ravi, okay, switch on light 1. He will say, okay, how long should I turn it on, something like that, right? If it's or else Ravi, please open the door. If I give an instruction, how long should I hold it open? Okay, or else how frequently I should do it, at what condition I should open that door. Do you understand my question? Are you following it? Like Ravi can ask me, how long should I open the door, or else at what time should I open? At what time should I open? One second. At what time should I open? What door should I open? So these are the variables, or these are the different concepts, like we have in our real time. We can have in the same things in the programming world as well. Let's say if I say how long, or else how frequently should I open, we can add, or else we can introduce a concept called loop. If I say at what time, this looks like a condition to me, right? At what time means, like, let's say, Ravi, switch on the light when the time is past 6 p.m. or something like that, when the time is evening 8:30 p.m., something like that. If time greater than 18 hours, 1800 hours, something like that, right? So here you can say this is a condition based statement, or this is a condition based instruction. This is a loop instruction. Looping instruction means, let's say, I want to open a door from morning till evening. I want to open a door from morning till evening. Okay. When I see a person at the door, this is the instruction. I'm saying, Ravi, please open the door from morning till evening. When you see a person, see, open the main door. Let's say you have three concepts in this very same instruction. I'm opening a main door from morning till evening with a condition when there is a person at the main door. You understand my question? So now, as a person, I will decode this instruction. I'll say, okay, I'll go to the main door. I'll stand in front of the main door. I'll make sure I'll open the main door from morning till evening, whenever there is a person. Right? You understand? Like, these are the same concepts that will be there in the programming language. That's it. Nothing more or nothing less. Right? If I give, or else if I have to write the same, so this is what the security guards or other people will do, right? They will stand in front of the door. Manager will give them the instruction. Okay, if any VIP people come there, you just open the door and make sure they are in, something like that. You just check it. You just check them if they have the valid credentials or valid pass, security pass with them. You just let them in, something like that. Let's say if I want to automate this process to some kind of device, an IOT device, or some kind of a microcontroller based device, how do you give the instruction to them, right? You just give the instruction with the same idea, that, or else with how you are giving instruction to a person, you can give the same instructions to a microcontroller in a language that it can understand, right? In a language, microcontrollers basically we do develop in embedded C, right? It's not so. One second. Okay. So even in microcontroller, we'll have a small processor, okay, where it can understand, or else where it can decode all the instructions. Okay, what we have given, we can say, let A equals to some main door. While run this, or else open this door, while from this time to this time, open a door if the person has security pass, something like that. This is how your instruction should be. Any programming language, whatever programming language you take, okay, this is how the sequence would be. It will have the same concepts like variables, loops, conditions. Okay, something, these are the pretty, I'll say these are the pretty standard or basic things that you have to understand in a programming language. Okay, any questions so far, or any doubts or any issues you have with this explanation? Or are we clear, or should I go ahead?
Yeah, please go ahead, Raju. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I am reading the message. So thank you.
Yeah. Few people texted there. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So now we understood like what is a programming language, right? Now we'll just understand what is a Python programming language, or how it is actually different from other languages. Okay, so Python is basically, people call it as an interpreted language nowadays. Every as I just mentioned before, every area, let's say you take AI or web development or API development, IoT, blockchain, all these areas now has Python, or they are actually choosing Python as the preferred language, okay, for development, for their development. In AI, if you ask me, there is a library called, I told you Python has vast library, or else vast large community support, or large frameworks available in Python to develop. Okay, first thing, it is easy to develop, it is easy to understand, just like you and me communicate. Okay, we can just simply say, if A equals to B, perform this thing, something like that. It would be as simple as that. You don't have to mention what kind of data type, the variable that you're taking, or else you don't have to write some private or void main, these kind of things that are there in the Java language. Okay, you can just simply write as simple as you're writing some pseudo code in English. Okay, so in web development, we have Django. Django is actually a full stack thing. If you learn Django, you can develop a web portal to you. Like suppose if you are running a business, or a small kind of business, okay, small scale business. If you want to have your own portal, have your own website, Django would be one of the preferred things. A static website, okay, or else it can be a dynamic also, but for starters, okay, you can have your own website developed with Django and hosted in some kind of AWS or Google cloud platform, somewhere. Okay, so along with Django, we do have other things called other libraries as well, but Django is the pretty standard one and pretty popular one. In API development, I have Flask, Tornado. Then I do have Fast API. Okay, if you ask me, so people, does anyone know what is an API, first of all, before saying API thing? Anyone know API? What is an API? Because if you are learning Python, okay, the most job opportunities that you might get is in the API development, mostly in the API development and testing. I need some kind of response so that
Can I try?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Yeah.
Application programming interface. It's where you basically give a request and you get a response from it.
Yeah. Great. Any others? Any other?
Basically, it's an interface between two softwares, I believe.
Great. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, I'll just say you guys are great. Actually, thanks for the response. And in my view, suppose if I'm running a weather service, let's say I've given this example before. It's like suppose I'm running a weather service, or else I'm running some kind of weather information collection kind of thing. Okay, so I have some devices installed in my home. I have some devices which collect weather every 1 minute or every 5 minutes, and I am storing all the information within my systems. Okay, so I have all the information in my database. I have all US related weather information, all India related weather information, and everything. Let's say you as a consumer, in your web portal, you wanted to have some kind of weather information in your portal, right? Right. I'm thinking I'm making sense here. Let's say I have a weather collection service with me. That's what I'm doing. Okay, in your web portal, okay, you wanted to show some kind of weather information. So how do I actually, because I don't have to again, my main business is to do some kind of weather based some job, some restaurant or something like that. I just wanted to give my customers and some kind of weather information. That's it. So for that, I don't have to install all the things, or else all my sensors or any other things at my home. All right, I already have a person who is doing that. Let's say X is my person who is collecting all my weather related information. So how do I have to do? I have to say, so in good old days, what we do, we will call them, ask them in the same language. Again, here we can say language, right? We use some English or Telugu. We'll say, okay, hey, X, can you give me today's weather, tomorrow's forecast, something like that. So this is how we used to do. But we do have systems which can communicate with each other, right? We do have now systems can communicate with each other. They can understand each other, right? So how do I get the information, or else how do I, as a person, as a collection service, give the provision to the other guys, give the provision to other guys? In this case, the restaurant guy, let's say the restaurant guy. Let's say he is the restaurant guy. So how do I give the provision to restaurant guy to let him know the weather today or weather tomorrow, right? So that is where we can introduce the concept called API, application or application in programming interface, or application interface, REST APIs, or these kind of things. Okay, we can expose some APIs to the external world, saying that, okay, expose API means, I mean URL with a specific URL with a specific job, URL with a specific job. Let's say specific job means, suppose if this is a get call means get today's weather, get today's weather. Next thing would be get tomorrow's forecast. Okay, so these are actually the API calls which would be exposed to the external world. I, as a restaurant guy, or else I, as a guy who needs weather information, I do call them, I do consume them. Okay, for this is actually how this is what we do in the API development. Okay, someone will have some set of data with them where we need that data, and we can talk to their systems, and get the information. Now in old days, like in the software development or else in the software architecture, there used to be a two-tier architecture, or else single tier architecture. Now we have three-tier architecture, where we have separated front end, back end, and the database. Okay, back end, if back end wants to communicate with the front end, okay, there should be an API, or else there should be an REST API to communicate with each other, front end and back end. Okay, so the API development is one of the main jobs, or else one of the popular jobs that you will get once you step out of or else once you learn some Python. Okay, this AI or web development or AI is pretty complex. Okay, for even if you know core Python, okay, you have to understand the statistics, concepts of statistics. You should be good at mathematics. Okay, if you want to get into AI or machine learning stuff, you should be good at mathematics, or I am not machine learning. You should be good at statistics, or you should have some good knowledge on libraries like pandas, numpy, matplotlib, and some other libraries as well. Okay, so this is a bit advanced for a beginner. If, like, let's say if you just know what is Python, okay, this would be a bit difficult for you guys at this stage. I'm just saying. Okay, but for beginners, I can suggest, or else I can say, you can either start with these API development based jobs, or else this web development related, or else the Django related jobs, or basic silly. There is another field, another job opportunity that you might have in the field like automation or testing. Okay, we have Selenium for this in Python. Either you can opt for these kind of jobs as well if you are a beginner. Okay, but the API development is one that I suggest to everyone, because it is popular, or else it is good for these beginners. And even machine learning or Python, machine learning or AI also nowadays, it made, or else the community made it very simple, or the number of libraries made it simple in Python. Okay, I mean to say, when I say it is complex, I mean to say you have to work a bit little hard on this thing. Okay. Okay, so I hope you got the idea on what is API development. Okay, let's move on to the IoT. IoT means Internet of Things. I hope you guys know Internet of Things, like you can connect different internet-based devices, let's say some microcontrollers or microprocessors. You can talk to them, you can automate them, or else you can communicate with your mobile phones itself with some bulb, or you had maybe you people, some people might be using Alexa, some people might be some people might be using Amazon Alexa or Cortana, something like that, even in your phones, right? So those are actually the concepts of IoT. You let's say if you're saying Alexa switch on the light, or Alexa switch off the light, how these things are happening, because in the background Python is being used in somewhere, either at the device side, or else either at the API call side, or something like that. We can use Python there. Okay. Blockchain, I won't touch it as of now. Okay, it is an immutable ledger kind of thing, and we have some good libraries where you can develop or else where you can install, or else where you can run your own blockchain network within your system, or else within your AWS network, entirely in Python. You can develop that. Okay, there are some blockchain platforms. Let's say there is a platform called multi-chain. Okay, this multi-chain is one of the blockchains platform, and it has some good Python libraries. It has a good Python library, okay, where you can entirely develop your own blockchain network within your system. Okay, you can run your own thing, right? So let's move to one example that I have for you today, a basic example of a machine learning concept. Okay, I just wanted to show you a quick example. Okay. So this is actually a graph for a data set. So this is the data set. Okay. You can see, you guys can see it, right? So I do have a data set which says I have some two parameters, okay, two parameters which decides if whether he's a male or a female, whether some X is a male or a female. Okay, I do have some few parameters to decide on that. Like if parameter one has, if parameter one has one, parameter two has two, let him put him in the basket called male. Okay, if a parameter one has 8, if the parameter two has 9, let him put under the keep it under the basket called female. So if you graph this thing, or else if you plot a graph for this thing, you would see something like this. All males are actually being categorized, or else all males are actually plotted in blue color, and this is some kind of aeon or some kind of color, I believe. Okay, and yellow color dot is your test feature, or else test dot. Okay, let's say if I can anyone just tell me in which category does this belong to, this yellow thing, yellow dot? By just seeing the visual representation of these dots, or else these circles, can anyone give me a random guess in which category it might belong to? First of all, you understand my question, or else you understand this data?
It is positioned at the center and neither.
Okay. So I'll repeat one more time. One more time. Okay. This is okay. First of all, just give me the background. Okay. We have this is one classic example of k nearest neighbors machine learning formula, or else machine learning algorithm, where you can categorize, or else where you can separate, or else where you can categorize would be the best word, where you can categorize a test feature based on the inputs that you have. Okay, based on the inputs that you have. Let's say I have some properties, or else I have some data set. In that data set, I have data saying that, okay, let's say for a row, for a feature, for an element, if it has some features called 1, 2, let him categorize as male, or else let him say that he's a male. If he has 2, 3, let him say male. If he has 1.4, 2.4, let him say let him call as a male, something like that. Okay, if he has, or else if that sample has features saying 5, 7, let him, or else let her call as a female. So I do have some test sample, something like this. Okay, so these are actually known to my system. If I ask you, Paul, can you say 5, 7? What should I call if an element has 5, 7? So obviously you will say, here we have it, right? Here we have it. Evidently we can say 5, 7 is female, Rajiv, you would say. But what if I say 6, 5 also female, 8, 9 also female? But what if I ask you a test sample, or else a new one, which is not even there in my data set? That is what I'm saying. That is what I'm asking. I am giving my program. I'm asking my program to learn from this data set. Okay, my program is actually learned from this data set. So whenever it sees the new test sample, it would categorize based on the inputs that it has. So the best guess, I'm saying the best guess, I'm not saying the exact, in machine learning, there is no 100% answer for any prediction. This is just a prediction. Okay, I'm just saying my best guess would be this test sample, which has the values 4.9, 5.1. If an element has some kind of features 4.9, 5.1, we can categorize them. The best guess would be females, because it is actually more close to this female category, right? Rather than it is not even close to this male category. Do you agree with me?
So
Don't,
Raju, so
yeah.
Raju, basically we can use it as a artificial intelligence kind of knowledge, right?
Yeah, I'll say artificial intelligence under, see, assume if you assume artificial intelligence is an umbrella. Okay, these machine learning concepts or natural language processing concepts, some other image processing concepts, all these comes under this artificial intelligence thing. Okay, if you this is just a prediction. I cannot call it as an artificial intelligence at this stage. Let's say if you give this to a robot which performs some action based on this result, I would call it as an artificial intelligent thing. I hope you understand that difference. Okay, so this is just a prediction. I'm just saying my best guess would be the test sample which is in the color yellow might be, or else may be a female here. It cannot, I'm not saying 100% it is a female, right? So don't get into the technicalities of it, how we have done it. Okay, what is this data set, what is this, the quotations male, or all these things. These are all things we will learn at some point in our course. Okay, at least the basics of it. Okay, so I just wanted to show you one quick example. Okay, let me change the details.
So
that,
Raju,
okay.
my question is, so basically
Uh,
we use Python to educate the system, right? Or to write the rules?
Python is one of the languages to do this thing. That's what I can say. We don't, there is no rule that, okay, this can be done in R as well. R language, there is a language called R, which is basically used for statistics and those things. Okay, but Python is one of the preferred languages to do these kind of stuff, because we do have, see this library sklearn, see this library NumPy, matplotlib is one of the libraries which allows us to plot these things. Okay, and NumPy is actually one of the libraries, popular libraries, is the one library, I'll call it as the one library, which gives us to form, or else which gives us to prepare the data sets. Okay, the numeric related operations we can perform using that NumPy. So I'm not saying, or else I'm not how can I say, exaggerating a bit here, but it needs that. The NumPy or sklearn or anything. You just go to Google and you say you just type what is the preferred language for machine learning. You would obviously get Python. Python is the only language for this. Okay, so so I've changed it a bit 1.1 to 2.3. Okay, so let's run this program again. Your best guess, what would be the type here?
The male.
Yes, the male. Okay, see here, did I get that or not in my prediction, right? So now you understand like what we can, or how many different kinds of things, or else how many possibilities that we have in Python. This is in the machine learning area. Okay, we have other areas as well, API development and those things. We will learn all these kind of concepts when we explore the Python in our training sessions. Okay, so so this is all developed in Python. Okay, this is one of the classic example which I developed actually. This is, and for this one I haven't used any library. For your information, I haven't used any library, even with core by Python concepts itself. I have developed this thing. Okay, not I have taken any libraries help in this case. Okay, but I'm using NumPy, just that one. I'm not using the sklearn library in this case.
So basically,
any-
Raju, in
Yeah.
nutshell,
Hmm.
compared to other programming language like Java and other programming language, right? Compared to all of them, the programming is in Python is relatively really easy, right? So
Yes,
because
yes, that's what I'm
we
saying.
don't have to do the heavy coding, and system itself supports on several applications like IoT or API development or machine learning. So Python has a lot of applications, lot of applications. It is really worth people spend time and their money on it, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
I said. That's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
Correct. Yeah. Thank you, Raju.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that is why I'm going to show, because this is, if you do this thing in C or any other language, okay, you have to write all these formulas or whatever it is. The
correct.
normalization formula, you have to write it on your own in C language or Java.
Correct.
Whereas
Java.
in Python, you in just one simple line, you're just saying perform the normalization of formula
Sure.
on this data set. That's what you're doing here, just one liners. You have developed a prediction machine here, or else a predicting program here with just set of a few lines here.
Simple
That's
block. Yeah. Correct.
a simple block. That's what I mean to say
Correct.
here. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Python will do the rest of us for us. It's very simple to do the program.
Python makes it easy for how Python makes it easy. It's up to, like, it again, it's another story. Like, we have to understand how Python is built, on what language it is built, on how it works, how Python memory management work, or something like that. For that, I'll just give you a simple example, and we can move on to the questions section. Okay. I'll just say, I'll just give the standard example which I've given before itself. Let's say we'll come back to the same instructions lesson where we had learned a couple of minutes ago. I'm giving two persons the same instruction. Okay, I'm giving two persons, or else a slight difference. I have some room full of boxes or something like that. In each box we have some colored balls. Let's say I have given this example before as well. So I'm taking two persons here, Ravi and Paul. So I have seen the name Paul. So please, yeah. So I've taken two instructions. Sorry, I'm taking two people here, Ravi and Paul. For Ravi, I'm just saying, Ravi, get me the ball which is in red color in the room A. Okay, so I'm giving the instruction, Ravi, get me the ball which is in room A or something, room 1 or something like that. Okay. For Paul, I'm giving the instruction, Paul, get me a red ball which is in box 2 from room 1. Ravi, Paul, get me red ball which is in box 2 from room 1. Okay, so I'm giving you the context again. I have room full of boxes, and I have some colored balls there in each box. Okay, so for Ravi, I'm just saying, Ravi, get me a red ball from room 1. For Paul, I'm just saying, Paul, get me a red ball from box 2 in room 1, from room 1. Okay, now tell me, who will do it fast, or else who can get me the fast result? I'll see the chat box. Who can get me the box fast? Paul. Anyone? If you don't understand the question, please ask me. I'll repeat, because this is very important to understand actually. Paul. Karunakar said Paul. Any other answers, please? Repeat, please. Okay, so I'll just say one more time. I have a room full of boxes. In those boxes, I have different colored balls. Let's say red, green, blue, or something like that, right? So I have two persons. I need some red ball I need some red ball. Okay, that's my need here. So I have two people with me in hand, Ravi and Paul. Okay, to Ravi, I'm giving the instruction saying that, Ravi, get me a red ball. That's it. That's my instruction. Okay, Paul, I'm just saying, Paul, get me a red ball from box 2. Right? That's what these are the two instructions. Now my question is, who will get me the red ball in no time, or else in less time, compared to each other. Both will perform the operation. Okay, Bonu said Ravi, Murali said Paul, Shilpa said Ravi, Susila said Paul, Tabitha Paul, Paul because she got specific instruction, Agatha Paul. Okay, so I'll say whoever said Paul, they are actually correct, because the instruction was pretty clear. Let's say we will see now how computer will react. Okay, first of all, we should understand how a human being will react to the same instruction. Ravi just know he needs a red ball. That's it. He doesn't know where the red ball is in those boxes, right? So what he would do, basically, he will go to that room. He will search for the red ball in every box, right? In every possible box that he come across, or else in some pattern, some kind of pattern he will search, right? That's what he does, right? Whereas Paul, he doesn't have to search for each box. He will just go to the box number 2. He knows we have given them, we told them that it is in box 2. He will go to he will fetch the red ball to me, right? Okay, now I will ask you another question. So again, to make it clear here, Paul will perform my action pretty fast compared to Ravi. I'm not saying Ravi won't do it, right? Next, my immediate question is, with whom I would like to work? When I work with him, okay, when I'm giving these instructions, okay, with whom I would like to work? Paul. Okay, I have to consider two parameters here. I would like to work means in terms of fastness, in terms of ease of working. Now you tell me in terms of ease, not in terms of fast. With whom I want to work in terms of ease. Okay, if I work with giving this guy instructions is pretty easy to me, because I don't have to do all the job. He will take care of it. Who does that here in this case? Karunakar said Ravi. Shilpa said Paul. Any other opinions? In terms of ease, I'm saying, not in terms of fast. In terms of fast, Paul would be the best guy. In terms of ease, Paul said Ravi. Murali again said Ravi. Yeah. Sorry, Ravi. Okay. Tabitha, Paul. Okay. So I will say like this. Just understand. Again, don't even go to the programming, or don't even go to the computer level of thinking. Okay, just think about the humans itself. Suppose if I have to give instruction to Paul, what I have to do? First, I have to go to the room. I should know what each box contains, right? That is a job to me again. So even before giving instruction to Paul, first of all, I should educate myself, or else I should know. I should be aware of myself that how many boxes are there. In each box, what kind of balls are there, what kind of color balls are there, right? So this is the effort that I have to make to give instruction to Paul, right? If I have to give the instruction to Ravi, I don't have to make that effort. Ravi would take care of it. Ravi would say, okay, hey man, you want red ball, right? Okay, I will go and get the red ball for you. You don't have to give me further instructions. Okay, Ravi will do the rest of the job. Okay, he will go to that room, he will do something, some algorithm or some kind of things he will perform there. He will get me the red ball. So to answer my question, I would work with Ravi if I need ease of giving instructions. Okay, if I don't have to put much effort, I would work with Ravi. If I need some fast results, or else if I need my instruction to be executed pretty fast compared to other languages, I would compared to other persons, I would prefer Paul. Okay, so now this is how I compare the languages. Okay, now you are comparing with two persons. I would compare with language here. Ravi would be my Python here. Ravi will be my Python here. Paul will be my C or other strongly typed languages. Strongly typed languages means I have to say them, I have to give them the specific instruction, the exact instruction. Int a equals to 10. I have to say, I will write it here. Int a equals to 10 or 19 or something like that. Whereas in Python, I will just say a equals to 10. That's it. Okay. So when I say int a equals to 10, that means I am asking my interpreter, or else I'm asking my compiler, okay, please have some 8 bytes of memory stored for this specific a. This is of integer type. So you don't, the compiler doesn't have to worry about determining the type of the data. Okay. Whereas in Python, you don't have to give that instruction, or else we don't have to specify that instruction. Okay, it is of type integer. Okay, the interpreter itself determines what kind of type it is, and you don't have to deal with that such stuff. Okay, so this is a basic difference between Python and other language like C. I hope you guys understand this. Like this, we have other differences in Python. Everything is object oriented, or else everything is considered as object. Okay, so on and so forth. Yeah. So I strongly recommend to learn Python if you want to explore a job opportunity in any field. You can say any field. I have mentioned here, saying that you have opportunities lying around in machine learning, on AI, web development and Django, API development, and Selenium automation testing, and these kind of things. And the great thing about Python is it is easy to learn. You have large community support. Wherever you go, you just type in Google saying that you have some doubt with some library, you can find some answer there. Okay. So Python is a great language to start if you are from a non-tech background. If you go to C or any other Java or any other thing, you will get disappointed by seeing what is private, what is public, what is void, or what are all these details. Okay, learning Python would make it easy for you to understand, because it's I told you, if you see this language, it's basically reading an English lines, or some kind of pretty basic English lines. Okay, even if it is a loop or condition, it will be pretty straightforward. You don't have to write some how can I say some programming gibberish kind of thing. Okay, it is easy to write there. I hope I have covered what I have in my mind, unless you have any doubts.
This is Susan.
You can ask me. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Susan.
So I'll just give you a current scenario, because I'm not too technical. So currently I am working on a project wherein I am I'm considered as a data manager. So we're dealing with lots of data, and we are at this point of time, we are trying to automate using RPA.
Okay.
So how different is Python? How will it help me when compared to RPA?
RPA is not only for data related automations, as far as I know, whereas Python is specifically for, or else you have some good libraries to manage your data. When I say, first of all, I should understand more about your problem statement. But as far as I understand, what I can tell you is, you can perform some mode, mean, or these kind of numeric or statistic related operations, and you can give them some results. You can operate on your column, or else you can perform row based operations or column based operations separately. You can create some more columns. These kind of things you can do in Python compared to RPA. Can you Is it what you're what
If
you're
we are
trying to do, or any other specific thing in there?
on in parallel, we are trying to fetch the data or pull the data from the enterprise data lake as well. So do you think that's where we Python can help me?
Yes, that's exactly where you can
Okay.
use Python. That is
Okay.
where you can talk about these concepts called API
Yeah,
API thing. Okay.
sounds good.
So in your case, you're saying some enterprise lake or some place where you have the data, right? I
Yeah,
hope
data
you have.
warehouse.
Yes,
Data warehouse.
I hope there is a REST API exposed for you guys to consume all your information, right?
Yeah, right
So-
now we are working on the APIs.
Yes. So there is a library called request library. Okay. Where with which you can you can fetch the data. You can do all these calls like get today's weather call, something like that. In your data also, you'll have some specific URLs which will give you some data, right? Those datas you have to see. When it comes to data, the pretty old way is to store it in Excel, right? That's what you guys might do, right? Either in Excel if you want to make it like a column or row combination and see the result or something like that. In Python, you have a library called pandas. Once you fetch all the data, if you want to make it as an Excel based data kind of thing, okay, you can use pandas data frame to build your data and perform some actions on that. When I say actions, they should be numeric related actions. Okay. Any other questions, Susan?
I think I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions? Any other questions based on job role or anything?
Yeah, Rajiv, I have a generic question. What are the
Mhm.
opportunities for Python professionals, and how the trends are going to be in the coming years?
If nowadays I told you, right, like see the IoT, blockchain or machine learning, these areas are actually the future job, how can I say, these are the areas that will rule the future job market. Okay. So I'm repeating again, IoT, blockchain, AI, machine learning, or if you say Web3 concepts or whatever new trending things, these will rule the job market tomorrow. If previously we used to have mainframes or those kind of things, but now if you want to get into job market, the first language that people might ask you is Python. Now people are asking, in future they will definitely ask. Now people are actually asking, they are saying that you must have some Python, basic Python skills, but in future people will ask you, you should have some Python skills, at least core Python skills to do some X job or Y job or something like that, because Python has some pretty damn good libraries in all these areas. As I mentioned, if you take IoT, if you want to work with some Raspberry Pi devices or some kind of microcontroller, some kind of processors, you have to know Python, right? Unless you don't know Python, how would you start understanding at least their work there, right? So to answer your question, in future people might ask you whether whether you know Python or not. If you go to any job interview, at least you should know some basics of Python. That's what I would say. That doesn't mean there are no other language, there is no scope for other languages. All I'm saying is it is in terms of the backend related things. Okay, all I'm saying is backend related. Again, for front end you do have other JavaScript based libraries or frameworks, but when it comes to the backend, yes, Python would be the most preferred languages if you want to be in the trending technologies like IoT, blockchain, and API development and machine learning. Yes.
Thanks, Raju. That explains even the high school kids and even middle school kids, actually, they start picking up Python nowadays.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, that explains. Yeah. And I mean, you already explained, right? Compared to other programming languages like traditional Java and other languages, it's pretty simple. I mean, not so much complex like the other programming languages. Yeah.
The other reason why I'm recommending Python alone is that it is easy. First of all, see, if I have to print something, okay, or else if I have to right, I would say a equals to 10, and I'll say b equals to 20, b equals to 10. If I want to print this, okay, I'll just say print a plus b. That's it, like three lines of code to do some addition operation with some variables, again with some variables here, okay. And it is as easy as you're reading some kind of English words or English sentences, something like that, okay. All your keywords would be pretty straightforward. They actually mean, or else they actually do what exactly the word says, okay. Print means like you're trying to print something on the standard output console, okay. That's why people are introducing this at high school level itself. C and those languages, or C and C++ or C# or any other languages, compared to this, they're a little bit difficult. Yes, compared to this.
Thanks, Raju.
Any questions or anything specific you want to hear? So I have a course plan. I just wanted to share with you guys, like, so this is how I'm planning to start from next week. We'll have some basics of Python and those details here. And I want to introduce a small automation or a simple automation project at the end of our session, or not session, not the course. Okay, so I will tell you the basic database integrations. Okay, I will cover some object-oriented programming concepts. I will say some functions. Okay, I will say the different data types. I will cover the different data types that are available in Python. How you can make decision making in Python, loops in Python. So errors, what kind of errors that you might expect in Python, sorry, working with files. So any other specific topic, if you would like to here also, we will cover, if that makes sense, we'll take that request and we'll cover those as well. Yeah. Questions?
Friends, feel free to ask him questions before we let him go. Please, this is our class. Please. Raju, are there any certifications?
Google is actually Google recently launched
Certification in Python.
program. Yeah, certification program in Python. But we will see if I think it is free.
Oh, it's
I don't
free.
know. It's free means like only for the certification, I believe. Course, I don't know. The certification they might give you for free.
Okay, but the certification issued by Google, that's good actually.
Yes,
the brand.
Google, yes. Certified by Google. Yes. There are when it comes to certification, there are paid courses as well. Paid certifications mostly available. Except Google, there are mostly paid. How can I say? Certifications engine. If you want to learn Python, there are so many sources available out there, but yeah.
looks like a Python Institute is organizing, offering 2 certifications, PCPP1 and PCPP2.
Something, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So if you see here, I have written programs, something like this, like programs on data types, different data types, okay. Programs on control statements. So the class would be something like this, similar to like this, okay. Every concept will have a program kind of thing. We will cover mostly here itself, like in the, I'll try to make it as practical as possible and as simple as possible. And because I would like to introduce more real world concepts,
Right.
okay, rather than showing you the some PPT presentations. I don't like, because I don't have any, and I don't want to show you any PPT presentations, because we can always type or write whatever we have in mind related to Python. Okay, so operators, we have program for variables, and I would store, or else I would keep all these programs in my repository, in my GitHub repositories. So I'll create a new repository, and I'll post it here for your reference in future. Once the class is done, we can have it. You can have those things in the same programs uploaded in the GitHub. I hope you guys know GitHub, right? So in addition to Python, we will cover some basics of GitHub as well, like how to create a repository, maintain a repository, upload, pull the repository, something like that. That would be an addition thing to our course. Okay. So I hope.
Raju, one question.
Sure.
What are the additional courses, like if you apply for a job for Python, what additional courses you need to be good at?
Okay, when it comes to Python.
Yeah.
Okay, so as I mentioned here, after learning the basics of Python, or as the core concepts of Python, okay, either you choose the Django web development, either you choose the API development. When I say API development, microservices. Okay, either you choose, when it comes to the machine learning umbrella, you can either be a data scientist, okay, data analyst, data engineer, machine learning engineer. Okay, these kind of areas that you have to explore. Yes, this one you need core basics. That's it. Automation testing, you need core Python. Even IoT also, you just need core Python. You don't have to learn any specific things for IoT concepts. Okay, blockchain also, you just need core Python. Core Python concepts. When I say core Python concepts, these are the core Python concepts. Okay, right?
So basically, in this course, you're not gonna go thoroughly through all these sessions, right? Yeah, like AI or automation. Like you're gonna give us a basic knowledge of it, and we'll have to learn.
Yeah, I'll give you a basics of each and everything. Okay, I'll give you some introduction to once I cover, because if you until and you don't know what is a tuple, or else what is a list, or else how dictionaries works, or else how functions work, or else how to make a package, or else errors in Python, you cannot go into these kind of concepts. You cannot understand what is a scalar, or else you cannot understand what is pandas and those things. Yes, how pandas data, because these are much advanced things compared to these basics concepts. But we can go on request. We can cover these things as well on request, but if everyone agrees to that. Yeah, but because considering most of the people in the group, first of all, we should cover all these things here.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Any any other questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question. Just before you were mentioning GitHub, and I've heard that word thrown around. I don't really know what that is.
Okay.
And when I see that and some other kinds of, I mean, to me, it's basically just jargon. And sometimes I just want to see like an overview of where all of these things kind of fit in. I know that there's software. Just now you at the beginning you started saying the back end and then the front end, and just it would be good to see an overview of these various pieces, and just so that we're not, or I am not lost in how Python would be interacting with any of these pieces or
Okay.
that kind of stuff. I don't know if you have time to cover it now, but that's something that I would like to just get
Yep.
some kind of overview.
Yeah. Great. That's a good question. If you are from the non-tech background, I'll just take 5 minutes here, but we can take this because this takes a little bit time. Okay, but I'll try to cover within 5 minutes. Okay. So your first question is like, what is the GitHub's role in the software development? Okay, and you're trying to understand what is front end, what is back end. Okay, and what it does and where Python actually fits in this picture.
Correct.
Where Python fits in the picture. Okay. So let's say you are building some restaurant website, right? So your restaurant website will have some requirements saying that okay, your restaurant website should have feature where people can order features, right? Order. Okay. And you will receive the order, some kind of dashboard to receive or else to view all these orders, right? This is, we'll keep it simple. We have a restaurant website where we can order, and the other and at the other end means like we have two different types of users for this restaurant website, right? One is the customer, one is the owner, right? The customer will always order, the owner will always receive the orders and serve the orders in the restaurant, right? That's what he does, right? So all the customer end related operations, or else customer end related operations means like client, we will call them as client end related operations, means you visit a website. This is kind of a website, right? You visit a website, you perform some option, you perform some action here. You're trying to overview your profile. Okay, you're trying to see all your repositories, you're trying to see all your projects. These are actually client related requirements. They wanted to see the menu. When they wanted to order, they want to see menu, right? They want to give order. These are the operations again when it comes to the under the umbrella of order. So these options or else these kind of actions, okay, the language or else the interface that would allow you to perform these operations, we call it as front-end related operations. You understand now?
Yes.
The operations that would allow or else the interface, I would say the interface, this interface that would allow user like me, I am the user for GitHub, like the same way I will be user for your restaurant website, and I will open your website and I'll say I want to order. Here overview might be your order, and I want to click on our order, and I want to click on some kind of menu, and I want to select some food item, and I want to place some order. These are actually the requirements that are actually client faced requirements. You don't know what will happen in the background when you click on some order, when you click on some place order, something like that. You don't have to know that.
Right.
Okay. So these kind of operations or these kind of interfaces, you would call it as front end. Okay.
Right.
Mostly related to the client or customer end related operations. Okay. So what happens when you click on order? What happens when you click on order? What happens when you click on order?
Well, somehow the restaurant is informed and
Yes,
they have
somehow
to process it.
somehow the restaurant will do that. That is operational related thing. But when it comes to the software, when you click on the order, it will get saved. It will get saved. It will get saved in the database. Okay. Whenever owner request for this data, it will appear. That's it.
Okay.
So do you see all these things as a customer? Do you need
No.
to see all these things? No, right? You don't have to see this. The backend thing, the backend automation kind of thing might give my owner whenever he requested. My backend API might give the owner. My backend API might serve my owner whenever he requests for this data. Okay, when you click the clicking part, or as the most fanciest part in a website, we'll call it as a front end. The dirtiest part, who does all the job, okay, who does all this labor job, okay, we call it as backend related stuff. Okay, so this is the difference between front end and the back end in a nutshell. Okay, on a very high level. Okay. Now you ask me another question, where Python fits in this picture.
Okay.
You can either use that's the beauty of Python here. Again, I have to praise the Python here. There is a library called tkinter. There is a library called tkinter. You can use tkinter to develop all your front-end interfaces, right? With Python itself, you can develop with core Python itself, you can develop your application. Okay. And in the backend, you can use Python APIs, either Flask API, okay, or some kind of Tornado API to serve all your front-end related requests. Front-end related request means interface request. Okay, get menu, order this food, get me the orders, list of orders. All these things are actually called as API calls. And those should be developed, or those will be developed using Python. That is where actually the Python comes into this entire restaurant website picture, right?
Okay.
Even in the front end side also, you can introduce Python with the tkinter. But there are like Python, other languages will have their own advantages in those areas, right? Python doesn't have much advantage in the front end side. So that's why people will opt for another language like React or some other Angular. Python is great at all these backend related stuff, right? But if you want to restrict yourself to Python, you can go with the option called tkinter or Django or any other thing, right? So that is the difference between front end and back end. Now let's get to the question GitHub. GitHub is yeah, sure. Yeah.
1 second. So now let's say you're not creating that front end with Python. You're using some other language. Now those instructions are in a different language, and then this back end is in a different language. And now they need to somehow communicate with each other. How does that understand Python? I mean, they're different, right? So somehow there's got to be some translation going on, right?
Good question. So that is where we use this API.
Okay, so the API is basically translating one language into, or
it's not translating. Yeah, actually, this is again a good question. I will have a source. I will have a data source which is developed in entirely JavaScript, where your application, it consumes it in Python. Okay. So there are modules which allow us to communicate these two different languages. There is a library called request
Mhm.
in Python, which would allow us to make API calls.
Mhm.
Okay, though at the other end, it might be developed in other language like JavaScript, but
Mhm.
this request library will enable us to do that REST API call and fetch our data, whatever we need.
Okay.
So that's how you communicate. Again, APIs are also of different types.
Mhm.
They will have the most generic one is the REST API, representational state APIs. They would say, okay, you will have APIs. You might have sometimes you might have APIs in a specific SDK in specific SDKs as well, or else in specific language. You will have APIs restricted in JavaScript. You will have APIs restricted in Java as well. Okay. But again, that's again another scenario, because it's a vast, see, this programming world is very vast. Okay, everyone have their own set of requirements, everyone have their own set of comfort, okay, when it comes to developing some piece of software. So anyone can choose any option. They can go with front end JavaScript and Python as a backend, MongoDB as a REST database, and they can perform all these, or else they can make and work it all the things in harmonious way, like similar same way. Yeah.
Okay. Just let me. I know it's taking a little bit more time, but
No issues.
just bear with me. So now, so far I said if the front end was one JavaScript, whatever, and then the back end was Python. But let's say both of them are in Python. So do you still need an API for that?
Again, it depends. It depends. Suppose, let's say, both of your programs running in the same process, within the same process. You don't have to have an API. All you have to have is a function call, a simple function call. When I say within the process, if they are running in two processes, first of all, you should understand what is a process. Again, if they are running in two processes, again, we might have to add a concept called queue, something like that, to exchange some information from one process to another process.
Okay.
Right. So that's what it depends on. It depends on what is your requirement and where your processes are running. Suppose one process is running in AWS, Amazon AWS East US region, and one another is running in Indian Mumbai region. If these two Python programs you wanted to communicate with each other, you have to have a protocol, a communication protocol. Okay, either you can use an API there, either you can use some other there are other protocols as well. Any IoT protocol you can use, or you can use a basic inter server RabbitMQ kind of queues as well. RabbitMQ is a queue which allows us to communicate within the servers, or within different processes. Okay.
So it'll just set some sort of a priority there and perform them based on
it. We don't set it, like when we develop it, we will know, right, what is our end goal, or what is our objective of this development. So we will decide that.
Right.
At that time
but
itself, we will
you could
decide.
do it without an API, but if you have two different languages, you definitely need an API.
Yes, we might. It depends. Like it depends. That's what I'm saying. Everything depends on what you need actually.
Okay. All right.
Can I go ahead with GitHub?
Yes,
thing?
please.
Yeah. So all your code, okay. So this will be around some 1,000 lines of code, or 10,000 lines of code. Okay. You won't develop it, or else you will not be the one who is developing this application, right? You'll have developers from America, you will have developers from India, some other country. Okay. They all you guys have to run, or else all you guys have to develop this thing in sync. Okay. You have to understand others changes, and you have to get those changes into your own local repositories and those things. Okay. That is that is where we can use the GitHub. GitHub is actually a version control thing. GitHub can be used as version control for the code. Version control means you can either, how can I say, keep track of all your changes in the code. Let's say today you have written a equals to 10. Okay. Tomorrow you wanted to change a as attribute or something like that. Okay. So you might be wondering, okay, when I change this attribute, in what context I have changed this attribute? You can, if you use GitHub to track all these changes, okay, you can just go to the GitHub and you can see, okay, I have changed this a to attribute from on this day due to this reason, something like that. That is one thing that we can do using GitHub. Now GitHub is almost used in every development aspect, like for the deployment, from the development till deployment, you can use GitHub. That is a little bit more advanced thing for now. For now, I'm saying, okay, but we can cover those things as well in our class.
So it's like an incremental. It saves it incrementally.
Yes, maybe. Yeah. It has all the changes. Let's say, if I have history here. Yeah. If you see here, for a file called server.py, I have changed, or else I have changed line number 122. I have removed this line. This is red color labeled line, and I have added this green color labeled line, something like that. You will have all these things. Suppose if I add a message to this thing, it will appear here. For this commit, I have changed these files. Okay, and these are actually changes. These are actually the changes in those files. So that's what my GitHub does. Let's say you don't have GitHub attached to your program or attached to your project. Imagine you have done some blunder in your project. How would you roll back to those changes where it was perfectly working fine? Okay, that would be a nightmare in a software driven application. That is where you can use GitHub there, and GitHub has other advantages as well. But to keep it simple, we can understand this thing first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank
you. And is that something, let's say there's 10 people working on the same program. So simultaneously 10 people's changes are being updated.
Yes.
Because of this feature, this GitHub.
Yes.
And everybody has access to that, and they'll know the changes.
Suppose if I changed it to attribute and you changed it to attribute underscore A, some other changed it to attribute underscore B, something like that. Okay. Now you guys have in GitHub, okay, before you push the code to the repository, you push the code to the repository. First of all, you pull the code, you pull the latest code in repository. Okay, this is my source of truth. This is my source of truth. Like the remote repository would be my source of truth. Okay, I don't consider your local repository changes as source of truth. Okay, this is my source of truth. So when I pull it, if I see this A attribute underscore A underscore B, if I have attribute in my local repository attribute underscore A, my Git will ask me, my Git console will ask me saying that, okay, see, if you see, these are actually the changes, right? This is my local repository. My Git will ask me whether to keep this one or this one.
Okay.
This attribute underscore A underscore B is a change coming from remote repository. Coming from remote.
Okay.
This is actually local change. It will ask me whether to keep this one or this one. It's up to you whether to keep this one or the coming remote change.
Okay.
Right? That's how it works. Yeah.
So the interface with the GitHub, is that automatic, or do you have to manually put it in and then pull it out from there?
You have both the options.
Okay.
You have the console, something like this. This is the Git visual representation. Okay. and you have a command line way of doing things as well. Command status, git status, something git commands. You can see all those newly added files here, something like that. You can see the changes. Okay,
Yeah.
I can see the number of branches I have.
Okay.
Get branch mail, I think. Not, yeah. So I can see now number of branches I have. So we can cover few of these basics things, so that because in a job interview, in a Python interview or any other interview, people will ask you for it related things as well. So that's why I wanted to cover those things. Yes.
So you're gonna cover the branching?
Not every detail of it, but I will say I will cover few things, like how to create a branch, how to again merge it in the main branch, something like that.
Main branch, okay.
Yeah.
And what GUI you are using? VS Code?
This is actually VS Code, but again it depends on you guys, like whether PyCharm or VS Code, which because I do develop most of my things in VS Code, because I do work on Python and at the same time the front-end JavaScript related things, since I'm a full stack developer. Okay, so that's why I prefer VS Code.
Okay.
But it depends on you, the team and the people in the
I think VS Code is easy to work on, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you work on VS Code, it would be easy for you. Yeah. We can cover that installation, VS Code and those things as well. Yeah. In the intro classes, first of all, we'll start with VS Code installations and those things. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll keep it simple. I'll keep it more practical as possible. I'll try to introduce more practical concepts in the programming with the programming concepts. Okay, so I do have some good experience giving training sessions or lectures to the engineering faculty as well. Okay, so I have some good experience for in that area. So you can trust me on this thing. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, and I have one personal request, Raju.
Yeah.
I am actually it is for my son. I want to join him because he's going in computer engineering. So I want to personally you ask the questions by name, so that he can answer. So he can motivate him to listen everything what you are saying.
Okay.
I think that is my request.
Sure. Thank you. I'll do that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? We still have, oh, I think it's 8 minutes. Ravi, you're there?
Raju, I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, so I think I have covered the topics that I have in mind, and questions also. I think I have taken enough questions. Any other questions?
Friends, are you good? This is just a demo class, and actual classes starts from Monday onwards, right? And pretty much the same time. Yeah, 8:30 to 10 p.m. EST. All set? Everything is good?
Yep, Ravi. Good.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Thank you all for joining, and thank you so much, Raju.
Thank you. Thanks for
Thank you.
invitation. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you guys on Monday onwards classes. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, guys.
Thank
Have
you.
a great
Bye-bye.
evening.
Bye.